percentage of the franchise. A court order in 2017 gave Jeannie and her four siblings the right to block any sale of the Lakers without their approval. The four siblings have agreed to give up their percentage, but Jeannie is holding out. The court order indicates that all five children of former Lakers owner Jerry Buss must agree to give up their percentage. Jeannie has gotten her lawyer involved and is prepared to go to court to resolve the matter. One of the issues is that Jeannie wants to remain the Lakers representative at the NBA Board of Governors meetings. The Dodgers pulled away for an 11-5 win at Colorado Monday night. 2 homers by Shohei Ohtani, a 3-run shot by Max Muncy. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
There is no denying that we've always been the conscience of this country. KBLA Talk 1580 is progressive talk radio built for our community, by our community, and with hosts who look like you, live near you, and care about what you care about. 50,000 watts of truth right here in Southern California. KBLA Talk 1580. Listen live on your AM radio dial at 1580 or stream us live on our KBLA1580.com website or on our free KBLA 1580 app.
Unapologetically progressive.
First things first.
First things first, it's the DU General, Money B. I'ma put you up on the schedule. 6 to 9, 8 weekdays, not doing serious. Let's go. We got a lot to talk about, so much to pedal through. Unapologetically progressive. Tune to KBLA 1580 to get the mess. We're your ancestors' favorite radio station. First black on talk radio, left side of the nation. Me and Dominique DiPrima go way back. Tired Smiley making sure the station stays black. Discussing all the issues in our community. We're hosted black and brown and others find unity. So let's talk about it. Maybe we can improve it. Digital underground, always down with the move. So we tune in. The first things first with the queen of black talk radio, Dominique DiPrima. Go sis.
First things first.
KBLA Talk 1580. Good morning, and God bless. Happy Hump Day. I'm Dominique DiPrima. This show is called First Things First, and my first thing is always prayer. It's always prayer. Giving thanks, giving praises, and asking for blessings from God, asking for the blessings of the ancestors and the elders. And let's go. Yes, let's do this. It's a Wealth Building Wednesday because, well, our days have names around here. And hour 1, we look local. Hour 2, we go national, international, and beyond, typically starting the hour with an opportunity or a spotlight on a business. And then hour 3, we do a deep dive with a person or persons of interest. We are more or less on point with that today. You're welcome in every hour at 800-920-1580, 800-920-1580. I'd like to throw a little well-being in our Wednesday. So hour 3, we'll be talking with Dr. Noelle Reed. She is an MD and an internist, but she's also a doctor to the stars, a dancing doctor, teaches Pilates, yoga as part of her practice. You may know her from Married to Medicine. She'll be with us today. And, of course, I want to remind you to tap in on all the socials. We are at KBLA 1580 everywhere. We stream there daily on YouTube and Facebook. YouTube's got the comments section, which is a whole vibe. And then, of course, sometimes I'm on my socials, which are DiPrima Radio, DiPrima. Please like, follow, subscribe, do all those things. It keeps us strong. It keeps us connected and viable. So, tap in. some folks are listening from work and they do not have the opportunity to call. So if you're one of those, you can sneak in a thought or two in the comments section. Apparently we're in a heat wave. Hopefully we're hydrated. Can't say I did a great job of that yesterday, but apparently yesterday, today, and tomorrow in Southern California are hot. We do have a lot to talk about. It's going to be a wild election season. I can already tell. It's not local, but it resonates really in every municipality. The fact that even Florida has elected a Democratic Socialist. Even the state of Florida elected a black woman who is a Democratic Socialist. And by the way, Angie Nixon is her name. And by the way, she wins against this guy, Alex Vindman, who had 16 times as much campaign money as she did. Wow. So, hello, Democratic Party. Earth to the Democratic Party. Your party, your constituents, the people, we, the us, the we, the collective, the greater good, remember us? We are moving to the left. Whatever y'all is doing, it is not cutting it. And I don't hate to say I told you so. I love to say I told you so because I really feel like for all of the, challenges and blind spots and in some cases terrible, platforms or whatever, the energy of the Democratic Party is in the progressive wing. And I've been saying this for more than a decade. That's where it is. Stop running from it. Stop hiding from it. I saw an interview with Hakeem Jeffries. I think it was on Meet the Press, where he was dodging and skating around the whole episode of the whole issue of Medicare for All and why he's not really for it. We have to find a solution for this healthcare crisis. But it's not Medicare for all. And by solution, I mean solution that my campaign donors who are insurance companies will be fine with. So, I just say that because, let's start out with something that makes us smile. It makes me smile because I believe that the energy of the progressive wing of the party, the young people energy, even though we have, you got your Bernie Sanders, it's not only for young people. The young people energy, the people of color energy, the women energy is what's not only going to save the party, because in a sense, that's not really a priority. It's what's going to save the country. How about that? And I say that because we've got to be able to take care of people. We can't have people dying and sleeping and living on the streets. We can't have elders with no health care. We can't have a kleptocracy where the very rich are just taking money out of the cash register by the handful while people are literally starving. And this right here is part of the way forward, I think. Anyway, look who's on my phone. I was hoping he would tap in, even though he's got father papa duties and he's got court duties and he's got a whole doggone law practice to run. He's a Morehouse man. He is an attorney in private practice, Person Lynn Law. He's a California native, Southern California native at that. It's like spotting a rare bird. Attorney Jaaye Person Lynn, good morning.
Good morning, Dominique. How you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Just, up a little early. Happy to be here and discuss whatever we get to discuss. And I do have to say something because I know you did it with the best of hearts, but I am a Hampton man. Shout out to Morehouse.
Lord,
man.
Sorry about that, Jaaye. I knew that.
But I am a Hampton.
Oh, Lord. Yes,
Howard
and
Law.
Howard Law, right? And Howard Law, right? What's the
Yes,
Hampton mascot? We all know the.
Pirates.
Oh,
Yeah, we're
pirates.
right there on the water.
Okay, okay. Yeah, so it looks like it's going to be quite a turbulent election season around here, around not just here, around the whole country. Um,
Oh yeah.
so buckle your seatbelts, one and all. And I don't know if you saw this fake poll. There's some company that put out a fake poll, and it showed Mayor Karen Bass leading by a wide margin, and then they like 2 days later said, "Oh, psych! It wasn't really a real poll. We were just trying to see something." And now people are trying to put that on the mayor. I saw Councilmember Rahman's team, sort of go harping about it, saying, well, they didn't vet their own polls. But honestly, I don't think most people do. I think when we see a poll, we just report the results. You don't go in and, independently verify that all these people were actually interviewed. No, campaigns don't do it. Corporations don't do it. Most media outlets don't even do it. But it turns out this was just something that they thought was like what they call a social experiment. I find it fishy.
Yeah, it sounds fishy to start with. I mean, it is a lesson and a reminder that it is important to vet any information that you get. But I was just at the National Bar Association conference and did a seminar on AI, and man, they can do a whole poll like and be fake, but it sound real. He showed us. It was like he made a website that said like checkthevote.com or something, and showed him he could manipulate it from his phone whenever. So that's something, but it is kind of fishy to really put it out there. That means somebody took the time to call these outlets, send it to these outlets, and for nobody to vet that's something. But the point of the seminar is that they have real official sounding names. But we have to remember, if we have frauds and scammers out there, now they have AI too, and they can do it too.
Right, they can do.
I'm not even saying that this was AI, but it's just wow that this would come out just to give the other side a momentum boost ultimately.
I think that's one of the reasons why I think it's fishy. Oh, you wanted to see something, but of all the races in all the country, you pick the black mayor of Los Angeles to do your little experiment on. Oh, they could have done it on any member of Congress. They could have done it on the president. Nope. They chose. I find it. The LA Times says little is known about the firm. Well, why? Somebody needs to do an investigation, I think. I find it very conveniently fishy. And they're saying, oh, well, it casts light on how polls are wrong a lot of the time. Well, a real poll can be wrong because they just take a sample of people. But a fake poll is something different, and we haven't seen much of that. That's pretty unusual.
Yeah, it is. Even though we've seen a lot, we've seen a whole lot. Just a straight up fake poll is quite unusual to even hear about. But then to be reported on by multiple outlets, that is something. But yet again, there's a lesson in everything.
True
and
that.
The lesson here is that we really need to vet. And in this day and age, especially in what I do as a trial attorney, they used to say, believe none of what you hear and half of what you see. Man, I think that day is over with. I don't think you can believe anything without, like, the receipts. Like, you can't believe any picture without the metadata. Like, until you show me what day this picture was created, I can't believe it, because I can take any picture I want, put it in ChatGPT, and make it look like something that it really isn't, but still look like a real picture. And so these are some perilous times we're living in. I can say that.
I mean, that's a really good point about the AI piece. I hadn't talked about that, which is, I guess whether it's a poll or a photo or a video or a news report, that we really have to somehow, and most of us don't even know how to do it. You can call Miles, he can help you. Figure out whether it's AI or whether it's real. I mean, honestly, Jaaye, sometimes I find myself, I've got to scroll in the comments because this doesn't look real to me. And somebody's going to call it out. That's AI, but that's not a reliable method either. I mean, with an article, you can search it. With a, I guess with a poll, you could search at least who the company is and what their track record is. But with a photo, how do you verify that?
Yeah, it's tough, and at least on Instagram, I know they're supposed to have like the, hey, this is generated with AI tag on anything that was AI generated. But once again, there's no still specific certain way that's definitely going to get you the answers that you seek on where it was generated and how it was generated, because ultimately, I believe I could create an AI picture, like screenshot it, and I'm not sure that if I did all that before it got to Instagram, that Instagram will be able to pick up on that. I mean, it's possible, but there's certainly ways around it.
Well, there have to be, and I think we'll get more sophisticated with time. They're also saying it could actually be a crime if they were trying to, if it was polymarket oriented or Kalshi oriented, where they were trying to take or make bets based on this polling. If you want to weigh in, 800-920-1580. We do have a lot to talk about. Attorney Jaaye Person Lynn is here, and I'm Dominique DiPrima, and this is KBLA Talk 1580.
Thanks for starting your morning off with a voice that speaks truth to power and the powerless, getting to the heart of what matters most in our community. This is where authentic conversation meets real action. From breaking news and politics to culture and community solutions, this is where you hear perspectives you won't hear anywhere else. This is where we come together, get informed, and make change happen. You're inside First Things First with Dominique DiPrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
Good morning, sunshine. You make my day.
The KBLA 1580 app puts the realest conversations right in your pocket. Stream live wherever you are in the world. No static. No searching the dial. A crystal clear connection, 24/7, exactly when you want it. We recommend that you keep automatic updates enabled. Set it and forget it. So the app stays up to date with store requirements, bug fixes, and new features as we roll them out. Download the KBLA 1580 app today and stay plugged into the conversation everyone's having.
Just in case you missed our Procrastination Crenshaw Town Hall.
My name is Asata Umoja. I'm with the Hyde Park Organizational Partnership for Empowerment, which is at the southern end of Crenshaw. And this community has been greatly impacted. As a matter of fact, one of the things that we're most concerned about is just being totally neglected. And what I mean is being excluded from the process. When this project first started, they should have made sure that our organization, since we were most impacted, was in there. So we've been excluded, and we've seen commercial properties be taken for art projects. And we're very concerned about these are spaces that could help build economic growth and development in the community. And what this community needs more of is economic development, not art. I mean, I like art. It's a good thing. But they're putting the cart before the horse. Because without a solid economic foundation, what they are calling cultural tourism absolutely has no significance and no meaning. And this community is going under if we don't stop and do something to help build that economic foundation and support the businesses that are the tax base for this community to build the kind of services that we need. And the response from our leadership is totally inadequate.
Holding them accountable. We're KBLA Talk 1580.
Self-destruction. You're headed for self-destruction. Self-destruction. You're headed for self-destruction.
You're ancestors' favorite radio station, and your favorite morning show host. Let's get back to Dominique DiPrima right now.
Right now, Jaaye Person Lynn is with us. He's an attorney. Jaaye, we've got Fred from Crenshaw on the phone. Good morning, Fred. Welcome.
Good morning, Sister Dominic. How you doing?
I'm good. What's on your mind this morning, Fred?
Yeah, I'd like to talk about the governor's race if I can.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, as you know, basically it's going to be between two people, Xavier Becerra and Hilton. I would prefer Becerra in there rather than Hilton. You know, Hilton is a Republican, and the thing about it is I haven't heard anything yet of how the black community plans to vote for governor. As you know...
You missed my show, Fred. We did a whole show about that. Right now, Becerra is polling really strongly among black voters.
Oh, okay. Well,
with legit polls that are not AI.
All right. Well, okay. Well, that is a great news to hear because, as you know, we have Americans have been really done wrong. As I said, you know, we had Reagan, Duke Majan, so I'm glad to hear that Becerra is doing well with the black community. I would like to encourage all of us to be sure to hit the poll November 3rd with your black, white, Latino, LGBT, because we need everybody up in there. And I'm glad you brought a good point in Florida that I think the first time they got their black woman. So I think we all have to pay attention to that because, as you know, Florida is a swing state, and that's the state the Democrats will need in the presidential election of 2028.
Indeed it is. We need it in the midterms, too, for sure. Thank you, Fred. I appreciate the observation. Becerra, I mean, he was part of the Obama administration and then the Biden administration, so you got to figure there's that. Plus, he has a long, track record. He's not an unknown factor, so maybe that explains his strong polling among black voters. Also, we don't generally love voting for Fox News hosts. But your thoughts, Jaaye?
This is an interesting governor's race. I didn't hear was Hilton's name until I believe he was on a show with Tavis. That was the first time I heard about him.
Yeah.
As a human being.
Oh wow! Ever? Okay.
I didn't know he existed, and then for him to be the Republican nominee, I think we're gonna see something here because it was a time, I remember the 2000 presidential election where you go to sleep and Gore won and you wake up and Bush won. But
oh, Lord.
But apparently that happened in the California gubernatorial election as well, where people went to sleep and Tom Bradley won but woke up and I forget who it was, but they had ultimately
Pete Wilson?
won.
Might have been. Yeah.
It was some way back, but I think maybe even before. Well, certainly before I was cognizant of politics.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say that California gets liberal up to a certain point, and we're about to see
George
what
Deukmejian. It was Deukmejian. Yes. Yeah, I mean, California is progressive in this along the coasts, but that's where all the people are. I know Hilton, you're saying he could surprise us, but right now he's getting his butt handed to him in the polls. I mean, we're talking 60 to 40% or something. And I know that can change, but I know Tom Bradley was never polling like that. Becerra would be the first Latino governor, so hopefully that would activate the Latino vote, which is unpredictable.
Yes, and that's what California is really going to see because that Latino vote, it is unpredictable, and we don't necessarily know that the Spanish last name is enough to generate the majority of the Latino vote. But, where that vote goes is certainly who will win the election.
I mean, but Becerra is more
nationally,
than just a last name. He's been the Secretary of Health and Human Services. He's been in politics in California for a very long time. So it's, you know what I mean? He's a known factor. It's not just the name.
No, I get that, and based on history and how things should be, he should win quite easily.
Right, but you're saying don't take it for granted.
Exactly. That's my point in all of it, is that we'll see the true colors once they finally show and shine bright on Election Day or up until Election Day. But that's something I think we should all be on the lookout for, because it's not as black and white as many would try and make it.
Right, and as we just spent a whole bunch of time talking about, the polls are unreliable, even the legit ones. That was a UC Berkeley LA Times poll. It found Becerra had 55% and Hilton at 37%, with only 7% of voters undecided. I don't know where that doesn't add up to 100, but maybe they're still voting for Antonio Villaraigosa, even though he didn't, or someone else that didn't make the runoff. So right now it looks Becerra, but I think you're right. It would be a mistake to just think, oh, we don't have to worry about it. We don't have to vote. No, you can mess around and have an English Fox News Trump supporter for governor of California, which would be pretty dire, actually.
And it would not be the first time we had a European-born governor in California.
Really? Who's the other one?
The governor.
Oh, that's right.
Oh,
yeah, of course. Arnold. Yeah. I don't even really think of him as a governor, even though he was the governor, because
he was certainly the governor.
Yeah, he was the governor.
Like multiple terms.
And if you think about it, that was when then community organizer Karen Bass went to the assembly and ended up being the first black woman to lead a state house in the whole United States, and she had to deal with that dude. Well, go ahead.
And he won in like a recall election initially, I believe.
They recalled. Is that when they recalled Gray Davis and then
Gray Davis,
and then put in Schwarzenegger, who was a Republican. And in everything except for environmental issues, he really did line up as a Republican.
Yeah. Yeah, and, that was what we had. So, it's not above California as a...
I mean, think Reagan, for that matter. I mean, these guys coming from out of the entertainment world that have the slickness to make it sound less toxic. These Republican talking points and policy platforms are the same, but Arnold can make it sound, smooth. Steve Hilton can make it sound polite in English. Ronald Reagan could make it sound rugged and Western, and it all was the same groceries, different bag.
Yeah, exactly. So this is what we're up against here. But some people being associated to Trump is just not enough,
right?
To say, okay, they're a bad person. And, truthfully, in politics, it should be, because if someone legitimately, it should not be, because if someone legitimately holds the beliefs, the core beliefs of the Republican Party, the smaller government, the greater accountability for spending, the fiscal responsibility
Republican Party is
they're supposed to have.
Yeah, I know.
I mean,
hold that thought, Jaaye.
That's one that they're supposed to have.
I know. We got news, traffic, and sports, then more with attorney Jaaye Person Lynn. Only right here.
More of First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. The investigation continues into a shooting at a Robbins, Illinois restaurant that left Black Mayor Darren Bryant with minor injuries. Village spokesman Sean Howard.
Fortunately, it was isolated. The mayor wasn't the intended target, and we're just praying for everyone involved.
Authorities say the suspected gunman was fatally shot by a private security guard, while a restaurant employee was also wounded. A black 18-year-old North Carolina woman is facing child abuse and assault charges after authorities say Saisha Jaden Johnson took abortion pills late in her pregnancy and gave birth at home at 31 weeks. The baby survived, and she, along with the baby's father, posted a $1,000 bond with charges pending. And LL Cool J is bringing the Rock the Bells Festival back to Newark this fall. The November event at Prudential Center will feature performances by Lil Kim, SWB, and Method Man and Redman as part of the celebration of Hip Hop History Month. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
For victims of drunk and drug driving, our grief is unique. But you are not alone. You always have a place at MAD. Call our 24-hour victim helpline at 877-MAD-HELP or visit mad.org.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Dodgers held on for a 7-6 win in Colorado Tuesday night. Shohei Ohtani had a 2-run homer, his 30th of the season. 6th straight year, Ohtani has hit at least 30 home runs. The college football preseason top 25 poll is out. USC is number 14. The Trojans enter the season with the nation's #1 recruiting class. Top 5 schools in the preseason rankings: Ohio State, Oregon, Georgia, Notre Dame, and Texas. The entire men's basketball team at HBCU Texas Southern University participated in a campus protest Tuesday to show their support for interim head coach Sharon Chapman. The team wants the administration to name Chapman as the permanent coach. The players organized the protest with other students after learning that the administration is planning to hire Seton Hall assistant Corey Lowry. If Lowry is hired, it will be interesting to see how far the players and students take their dissatisfaction. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
All I need is one mic. With a KBLA Talk 1580 editorial, I'm Tavis Smiley. My big mama used to say that there are 24 hours in a day, 12 hours to mind your business, and 12 hours to leave other folks' business alone. So, let's talk about our business, Crenshaw business. For over 5 years now, the good people of the Crenshaw corridor have lived in a gated community, but not by choice. Gates, fences, barricades, limited street access, closed lots, and then some. By now, you've heard the stories from the folk who've lived this nightmare. Business owners have lost customers. A charter school lost students. A veterinarian lost clients. Churches have lost members. And still, Procrastination Crenshaw sits unfinished. And when I say sits unfinished, I mean sits unfinished. Nobody was seduced by the Jedi mind trick they tried to play when they ran that headline on the front page of a local black newspaper about the project restarting in weeks. I mean, come see for yourself. The only trucks on Crenshaw are deconstruction trucks. It took a minute, but to her credit, LA Mayor Karen Bass showed up, and she's leaning in on getting our parking back. But think about this for just a second. LA is not Chocolate City, and yet we are blessed to have a black mayor and a black city council president. But where is the black city council president? Where is Marquise Harris Dawson? This is his project in his district, but he has been strangely quiet. Did you notice in the recent Los Angeles Times story about Procrastination Crenshaw that neither Marquise Harris Dawson nor Destination Crenshaw had a word to say on the record? The silence was deafening. When people ask me why the silence, all I can say is, good question. As a reminder, the Crenshaw Corridor community sent him a letter, and it laid out real demands: a public timeline, relief for the businesses that have suffered, and an audit. At the moment, the last one matters most, the audit. Here's the thing, the foundation money, the private donations, that's their business. But this project is also funded by city money, state money, and federal money. I refer you back to the front page story in that black newspaper where they all talked about this. Go read it again. In any event, it's your money. And when public money goes into a $100 million project, that still sits unfinished? The public has a right to see where every dollar went. Contracts, budgets, payments, schedules. That's not too much to ask. Again, it's your money. Our letter gave Mr. Harris Dawson a deadline, Friday, September 4th, to respond. The clock is ticking, Mr. President. 12 hours to mind the public's business. And this is one of them. With a KBLA Talk 1580 editorial, I'm Tavis Smiley. As always, we welcome your feedback.
How did you want it?
Thanks for waking up with Dominique DiPrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
Do appreciate you. Attorney Jaaye Person Lynn is with us. And yesterday we were talking about the LA Jazz Festival and its demise or postponement. I hope it's a postponement. Something I personally have been involved in, helping out, working with. I'm on the board of their foundation. I've been working on it maybe 5 years. I know Martin Ludlow, the visionary behind it, the founder, been working on it about 15 years. You don't just get to just go out on the beach and put up a stage and do a show. That's just not how it works. And anyone who has dealt with the city and county and state here knows that it can be quite a maze. It can be quite challenging. Also, I wanted to say, which I didn't get time to say yesterday, that the Jazz Festival Foundation has been doing these jazz camps for the past 2 summers where we have the best and some of the best high school jazz musicians from all over the country come to LA and study with jazz masters on scholarship as just part of the charitable work that the foundation does. So this is an organization that has a solid board, people you know. It's not some fly-by-night operation, but it's getting slaughtered in the mainstream press. And I think a lot of it is unfair. I am disappointed, and I do think it's legit that people are disappointed and upset, but the way that is being reported, I think, is quite unfair.
Yeah, I understand that. The Juneteenth festival, like the big one, because it had been going on for years, and people should know that. But in 2020, we were under COVID restrictions. There was no permits to get. But after we did a demonstration of Black love in response to the George Floyd protests, we had 2 weeks later, well, really about, a little over 2 weeks later, a decision was made to have the Juneteenth festival. And we did it, there was no security issues, no problems. But we did it certainly without any permits because nobody was getting permits to do social gatherings. If you remember at the time, they were called like super spreader events.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, it went off without a hitch, and it was the community showing what the community wanted, and there were like virtually no police there, and no problems. And so, as the years pass, certainly, it does cost money to shut down streets. It does cost money to make sure you have the adequate security. But it just seems sometimes that the security concerns for the majority Black events or Black-led events gets overstated, like overblown, like way too much security is required. And that drives the cost up so great, it sometimes becomes prohibitive to do these events. And that was really the number one reason behind that Juneteenth festival as we knew it ceasing to exist, is the cost of security. And so I'm hoping I heard it correctly yesterday on your show when you had Mr. Ludlow. He was, explaining that was part of the issues as it got down to the brass tacks of it all. And it's just unfortunate that you see that so often with those security costs being so great and the theory behind them, like, man, we have to do this, otherwise, there will be some kind of problem. And for a jazz festival, I think that's probably the lowest security risk you could have
Right.
of all music festivals.
Right.
But, when it's black people involved, you can still expect that there's going to be a great amount of security required. And that's where I think it becomes a bit unfair to our community to require such a significant amount of security for something that is otherwise safe. And then, we do have, and like you say, you don't just go to the beach and have a celebration, but we do have the Chase Burton Park concerts series that takes place throughout the summer. And to my knowledge, there aren't any, and that's a free event, and there aren't any significant security issues that have ever happened there. And we've had all kind of R&B singers, rappers, so on and so forth. So we know it can be done successfully. We know just because black people have events does not mean it's some great security risk. But at the same time, it's like I wonder if it's more so because I remember seeing you MC the welcome, hey, we're going to do this event downtown.
Yeah, the kickoff.
And it was it was such an exciting time, and I was so excited for the city because Long Beach is so big, and Gardenias has grown and become something. So I was excited for the city of Los Angeles to finally have something, and so it just makes me wonder, with the knowledge I have, how much anti-blackness went into the decisions by the government that led to it being canceled or postponed, because I know for a fact when, the government gets together and wants something to happen, it can happen, and it will happen, and they'll find the money, they'll find it. But in this particular situation, it didn't. And it's upsetting to a certain degree, but it certainly makes me wonder and look past just, we couldn't do it. What were the motivations behind not being able to do it?
Yeah, it's really disappointing. I mean, I must say my heart is definitely broken by this. The amount of work, the amount of money, the amount of care and vision that went into it. And I hope that he can, do the heavy lift to make it happen. It's going to be heavier because of the reputational damage and the disappointment in the market, but I'm hoping. And it seems crazy to me that you don't get your bill from LA Fire and LA PD until just a week or days before, the concert. Well, here's the final cost, and here's your final danger rating. You're a 7 out of 8, and it's going to cost you hundreds of thousands, and we need it all up front by tomorrow. That just seems, who can do that? If you're not a massive corporation, no one can do that. It reminds me of the city contracting system, where a lot of times you have to put up the money first and then the city will reimburse you, which effectively locks out a lot of black and smaller independent businesses of any ethnic group. And to me, that is part of what we have to fix, because whether it's intentional or not, it becomes a de facto bar that keeps us out.
Yeah, certainly. And we also just have to understand what we're up against and make sure we are seeking those alternative funding sources because, the anti-blackness is a real thing, unfortunately, a real thing. But we also know through experience and through events that we've had in the city and throughout the county that celebrations like jazz festivals, which are beautiful celebrations of culture originated by black people in this country, that they are successful, that they are safe, and they are welcoming, and people
and they are
should
fun.
go out and enjoy themselves.
And they are fun.
They are fun. They are great.
We got the Lamert Park one. That's small. It's wonderful, but it's small compared to what they were trying to do with what we were trying to do with LA Jazz Fest. And I think that it's also worth noting, to your point, when folks want to get stuff done, they get it done. Bridge Street and Martin Ludlow were the people that produced the renaming of Obama Boulevard. And I don't know if you were there, but it was every Bloods, Crips, and everybody in between, Democrats, Republicans. It was tens of thousands of people out on the street on King in Obama. Yeah. And it was dope. I was one of the MCs of that event. Stevie was there, Dougie Fresh, was all kinds of music. And that was able to happen because folks got behind it. But also, I point that out just to say, this is not some fly-by-night organization. They've done huge events before, many of them. And they were successful and fine with no security problems. So it's not somebody that doesn't know what they're doing just pulling a fast one. It's a failure of our infrastructure, of our government and our civic organizations to support, the rise of a new institution. I think it's one of the things, that that I celebrate and about this radio station. We are building an institution in the community, and many of our electeds have stepped up, and gone the extra mile to help us with the heavy lift.
Yes, and it is. That's exactly what's needed, and I know to that point, when Mark Ridley Thomas was in office, he had, he made sure that the funding for the festivals were there. Like, he covered the cost. Each council member has a discretionary budget. He made sure the cost of the closing the street, the law enforcement was covered and made happen because of what the Juneteenth event was in the short time we were having while he was back on the council. And so that's what I would have certainly expected here, to say the least, is that the people in power would have certainly stepped up and said, hey, we need to get this done. This is too big for our community for something to fail. And it would just put a damper on, future projects and things that people want to do in Los Angeles. And once we do it and show the success of it, the rest of the naysayers will see how grand and great it is and how great of a look it is for the city. And so we certainly should have it. The same way, they have the Grand Park celebration at New Year's and all that does for the city and just the morale of things. Yeah. I think it was that important to just push it through, make it happen, whatever needed to happen to make it happen. So I can say I was certainly saddened by the news that it was not going to happen.
Yeah, I agree, because those are the things that make us a world-class city, right? It's not just, it's not just buildings and transit and Hollywood. It's the events, it's the experience, it's the feeling, the vibe, the morale. Those are the things that make us a world-class city. Attorney Jaaye Person Lynn is with me, and you're listening to KBLA Talk 1580.
Where the overlooked become unmissable, this is KBLA Talk 1580.
Just in case you missed our Procrastination Crenshaw Town Hall.
My name is Bronwyn, and I've been in this neighborhood for 65 years.
All righty.
I was raised here, right on Crenshaw Boulevard. Ancestry, legacy, everything. No parking. In regards to our elderly, in regards to trying to get from one end to the other, 48th and 50th Street is a dead zone. You got to get off the bus, and you got to make your way down in the middle of the block. I'm right across the street. I understand one of the things. I am happy to see you guys. I've been in too many meetings where you weren't there. I understand those who own the buildings and your properties. I understand those who rent from you. Here it is. Why can't we invest in each other?
Making sure they follow through. We're KBLA Talk 1580.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight illnesses like pneumococcal pneumonia and RSV. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and can help protect you from getting really sick. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. See more at PfizerForAll.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
When you're finally off the clock after a long day, dishes put away, kids asleep, feet kicked up, heartburn. Don't let heartburn take over your hard-earned moment. Quick, Alka-Seltzer. Nothing works faster for heartburn relief. Alka-Seltzer effervescent tablets begin neutralizing stomach acid in seconds, so you can get back to your one more episode marathon. Quick, Alka-Seltzer. Because nothing works faster for heartburn relief. Use as directed.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. The Michael's Daughter Foundation is dedicated to inspiring youth and resilience through storytelling, arts, filmmaking, and enrichment programs for youth and families in under-resourced communities and system-impacted individuals. The Michael's Daughter Foundation is a 501c3 nonprofit providing free and low-cost arts programs to youth and families from under-resourced communities, both system-impacted youth and those affected by the incarceration of a loved one. 1 in 43 children in America have a parent incarcerated. 70% of those children are expected to end up in prison. Through filmmaking, animation, theater, and writing, they help young people express themselves, build confidence, and imagine new possibilities. Beyond the arts, they offer financial literacy workshops, emergency support, and scholarships. Because thriving takes more than talent, it takes access. To learn more about the impact of Michael Daughters Foundation and how you can be a part of the movement, please visit their website, michaelsdaughterfoundation.com. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Broadcasting live from Leimert Park, USA. Welcome back to your home for unapologetically progressive radio. KBLA Talk 1580.
Jaaye Person Lynn is with us, and Paul from LA is calling. Jaaye, good morning, Paul. Welcome.
Good morning. Good morning. I had to call in. My brother from another mother's online. What's good, Jaaye?
Hey, Lazy, what is the deal, my good brother?
I was calling in because just on the, and it's crazy you guys were talking about it, specifically to the anti-black that's going on with replacing black leadership. Obviously, Brother Mark Ridley Thomas, who I still support to this day, and Karen Price that I still support to this day. And it just reminds me of what happened on those leaked audio tapes that we knew back in 2021, whereas the LA Council just openly admitted that they redistricted because they didn't like how the black group and population has such an influence on and political power in the city of Los Angeles. And I think something like that needs to be revisited because we're looking at District 9 going. We're looking at potentially District 8 going in the near future because they have diluted and separated the black vote and the black leadership. So what are you guys' thoughts on that?
Go ahead, Jaaye.
I mean, that's certainly clear. You know, there's so many factors that go into it. I know I see it. One, I think it's clear that the impact that Mark Ridley Thomas has had and the impact to the entire city of losing his leadership over the last few years due to the case. I think we're seeing it significantly right now. And I think there's certainly an anti-blackness behind it. And that's what I think it is our job to call out. But I don't think it was over with after those tapes leaked. I think it's broad. I think it's different than traditional racism that we felt throughout this country because it's stemming in, you know, not necessarily strictly white communities. Like the black and white racism, we've worked out significantly. The racial hatred between black and brown, I think, is something a bit newer for us and something that's pretty unique to the southwestern region of the United
that's
States.
Also being, but that's also being fanned. Those flames are being fanned right now a lot by the right, because we've also had historical coalitions, and there would be no Mayor Tom Bradley if it wasn't for Black-Brown coalition. There would be no Mayor Antonio Villaraigosa. So I mean, it's not used to be that division was stoked mostly by what happened behind the walls of the prison system. Now it's happening with the Republican Party trying to pit immigrants against Black Americans. And so it's not just mysterious. Some of it is very much part of an op campaign that has been quite effective.
Dominique, can I say
and I agree wholeheartedly.
Go ahead, Paul.
Here's the part of it that I want to talk about. The damage was never repaired. We have on record proving that those council members specifically targeted diluting the Black vote and the Black political influence in our communities.
But that redistricting didn't happen. I mean, part of what's happening with CD9 is not anti-Blackness. It's the fact that is now a majority Latino district. That's who lives there. They're going to vote for someone brown. I don't think that necessarily reflects anti-Blackness. In fact, the fact that Curran Price has been the leader of that district for the past 8 years, despite the fact that it is a majority Black, a majority Latino district, might tell an absolutely different story.
I'm going to send you some information on that, because it's on record that those members strategically came with strategy on how to dilute the Black vote.
I mean, I'm clear on that. You can send me information. I've read it. I know what they were doing. But I'm saying the redistricting that they were trying to accomplish did not happen. Sure.
Well,
did they have influence over the course of, Nuri Martinez being city council president? Yes, I'm sure she did. Have things been done to dilute the Black vote? Absolutely. But also, to me, to say that it's a conspiracy that we have a Latino council member in the 9th District when most of the residents of the 9th District are Black, that sounds like a reach to me.
Well,
I mean, how is that?
Well,
what gymnast? Oh, you're saying before, but we've always had a Black council district, council leader there.
Yeah.
So how is that? I don't.
Yeah,
where's the conspiracy if that's where the majority of the polity is?
The district.
Well, and I understand you on that.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
But because we do have a lot of Black people that sold their homes, that their families owned outright, and moved to the Inland Empire, moved to the Antelope Valley, and we've seen just the population decrease. When the OJ case happened 30 years ago, LA City was 17% Black. Now it's like 9% Black. And it's not just population growth. It's Black people moving out of the city for whatever reason they're moving. And so I do think that needs to be taken into account. And I certainly see it in the jury pools downtown. It's quite significant considering what the OJ jury pool looks like. But it's a point that some of that is just demographic, and, that means Black political power should be increasing in the Inland Empire and the Antelope Valley. I'm not sure that it is, but there's certainly more to it than just Black and brown. But I believe you spoke to my point when I said it's more recent on the Black and brown, just true animus. Where there was coalitions historically, and people had been working together historically. And I grew up in a Los Angeles where Black and brown, it was a known and a felt coalition. That's what I remember. And the sentiments did come, the present sentiments, I believe, did stem from what goes on behind those walls in the prison industrial complex. But they're certainly there now. And I don't think we can or should overlook how significant they are, because it's really, I'm seeing in the government structure, I'm seeing the anti-Blackness, particularly from the Latino community, and particularly in law enforcement.
That is
the
we could
greatest
do a whole
that
show
I've
on that.
seen in my life.
Well, Attorney Jaaye Person Lynn, we're up against news, traffic, and sports here, and I know you're up against court, so thank you so much for being with me this morning. Paul, if you want to stay with, you're invited to do so, but we got to leave it here. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dominique, and thanks, Paul.
News, traffic, and sports, and more, only right here.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. The investigation continues into a shooting at a Robbins, Illinois restaurant that left Black Mayor Darren Bryant with minor injuries. Village spokesman Sean Howard.
Fortunately, it was isolated. The mayor wasn't the intended target, and we're just praying for everyone involved.
Authorities say the suspected gunman was fatally shot by a private security guard, while a restaurant employee was also wounded. A black 18-year-old North Carolina woman is facing child abuse and assault charges after authorities say Saisha Jaden Johnson took abortion pills late in her pregnancy and gave birth at home at 31 weeks. The baby survived, and she, along with the baby's father, posted a $1,000 bond with charges pending. And LL Cool J is bringing the Rock the Bells Festival back to Newark this fall. The November event at Prudential Center will feature performances by Lil Kim, SWV, and Method Man and Redman as part of the celebration of Hip Hop History Month. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
For victims of drunk and drug driving, our grief is unique. But you are not alone. You always